Money Transfer is giving you an unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October. Yes! From now till the end of October, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice when you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada and Switzerland with Supersonics Money Transfer. Amazing! So from now till the end of October, every time you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada and Switzerland, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice. Only 100 bags available, so hurry now and be part of the 100 lucky winners in this special unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October with Supersonics Money Transfer. Enjoy our safe, fast, reliable and convenient money transfer service with the largest payout network in the Gambia with charges starting from $0. Yes! Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. The unbeatable bonanza with Supersonics.
Supersonics Money Transfer adani on don jenari maundi itti joni ha October gasa eyi itti joni ha October gasa heda wawi gagnade saku maro watwo hebbida kalis he der Gambia do immarando ma UK, Europe, USA, Canada wala Switzerland he Supersonics Money Transfer no weli awa itti joni ha October gasa watwo mo hebbida kalis he der Gambia do immarando ma UK, Europe, USA, Canada wala Switzerland hida wawi gagnade saku maro ko sakuji temedere tunnon heddi awa yawnode wonon he be yimbe temedere malabe fifi gagnagol ndinjenari do he October gasude he Supersonics Money Transfer weltode he ndeneldirde kalis burnde mawnude der Gambia yawunde labunde kadi he joddi fuddorndi haydara yehe ka Google Play Store wala ka Apple Store hande wadon download Supersonics Money Transfer app on weltodon he neldugol wala hebbagol kalis ndi nyenari ko Supersonics tum
Supersonics Money Transfer wolle kudima na falia kabo sain kata October karo bandula ha kabo sain kata October karo bandula ibe ganyo ro kala mani botolal wato wati ni tata kodota Gambia banko kanjak membota na UK, Europe, USA, Canada wala fo Switzerland ni atambini Supersonics Money Transfer ha bari nyin diata kabo sain kata October karo bandula wato wati ni tata kodota Gambia banko kanjak membota na UK, Europe, USA, Canada wala fo Switzerland alon ko ni mani boto be sela suwo kono nko mani boto keme dronne bijede wote bamban sain fo da kase ni mo kemol kono men be gagné rokela nyin kudi mala kabo sain kata October karo bandula anin Supersonics Money Transfer dorong ibe nyum sotola wol inyo sewondi nyum ku koyola men tariata alla no warta dum bata da clinteje ko ditala karola katu yalo ne ko nyum len ko ditadulatu men warta Gambia banko be kanjak woto ni ko do taje wato wati hani fadino ita jola je tan na Google Play Store wala na Apple Store bi ye Supersonics Money Transfer app download ye ni sewondi ani nyum ko ditadula ani Supersonics nyum kudi ma be sotola woto dronne Supersonics Money Transfer.
Supersonics Money Transfer ñoo dellu si waat indi leen xéewal bu neex a neex fii ba weeri octobre di jeex waaw fii ba weeri octobre di jeex mën nga am sansu win benn saaku maalo saa yoo jotee xaalis fii ci biir réewi Gambia bàyyee ko foofu sa UK, Europe, US, Canada ak Switzerland ak Supersonics Money Transfer xanaa lii neexati na doore ko tey ba weeri octobre di jeex mën nga win benn saaku maalo saa yoo jotee xaalis fii ci biir réewi Gambia bàyyee ko UK, Europe, US, Canada ak Switzerland téeméeri saaku maalo ñoo fi nekk kon gaawal nga bokk ci téeméeri nit yi nga xam ne mën nga am sans win ci xéewal yi nga xam ne kenn dootu ko natable ak Supersonics Money Transfer bànneexu leen ci suñ yónneekaay xaalis bi gën a wóor gën a gaaw gën a noppale ak yónneekaay xaalis bi gën a màgg ci biir réewi Gambia te duñ la fayeeku dara saytu leen ñu ci Google Play Store wala Apple Store nga mën a bindoo ci suñ app bi di Supersonics Money Transfer app shuu cay bi xéewal ak Supersonics rek.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Amna luñu leen andil lu bees tàq loolu mooy lan diggante nekk programme boo xam ne dafa jóg pour defar diggante yi.
diggante dinañ waxtaane nag ci biir kër yi.
diggante nit ki ak boromam.
dinañ dem ci biir office yi.
diggante nit ki ak yonentum.
dinañ génn réew mi
diggante nit ki sax ak moromam bàyyi daam am na koo tiit na lool ci diggante ak boromam mbaa du yàqu yi
te du fi yàqoo diggante dina ko defar fii
ndax nag réeroo amul daal waaye ñàkk a waxtaan am bu ñu waxtaanee gindandikoo programme boobu nag ana ñan ñoo koy amal
Mouhamadou Lamine Kane al Mansour ànd ak xaritam Baye Dame Diouf ñooy def diggante
Gambian Talents TV ñoo leen di indil programme bu mag boobule
dinañ ko indi ajuma bu nekk bu juróom-ñetti waxtu jotee ba juróom-ñeenti waxtu ak genn wàll
asalaamaaleykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Supersonics Money Transfer is giving you an unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October. Yes! From now till the end of October, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice when you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada and Switzerland with Supersonics Money Transfer. Amazing! So from now till the end of October, every time you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada and Switzerland, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice. Only 100 bags available, so hurry now and be part of the 100 lucky winners in this special unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October with Supersonics Money Transfer. Enjoy our safe, fast, reliable and convenient money transfer service with the largest payout network in the Gambia with charges starting from $0. Yes! Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. The unbeatable bonanza with Supersonics.
Money transfer addani on ɗon jeenari mawdi itti joni ha octobre gasa eyi itti joni ha octobre gasa heɗa wawi gagnade saku maro wattu wo heɓɓiɗa kalis e nder Gambia ɗo immoranɗo ma UK, Europe, USA, Canada walla Switzerland e Supersonics Money Transfer. No weli awa itti joni ha octobre gasa wattu wo mo heɓɓiɗa kalis e nder Gambia ɗo immoranɗo ma UK, Europe, USA, Canada walla Switzerland hiɗa wawi gagnade saku maro ko sakuji temedere tunnon heddi awa yawnoɗe wonon he ɓe yimɓe temedere malaɓe fifi gagnagol ndi jenari ɗo he octobre gasude he Supersonics Money Transfer weltoɗe he nde neldirde kalis ɓurde mawnude e nder Gambia yawude laaɓude kadi he joddi fuɗɗordi haydara yehe ka Google Play Store walla ka Apple Store hande waɗon download Supersonics Money Transfer app on weltoɗon he neldugol walla heɓɓagol kalis ndi ñeenari ko Supersonics tum. Supersonics Money Transfer addani on ɗon jeenari mawdi itti joni ha octobre gasa eyi itti joni ha octobre gasa heɗa wawi gagnade saku maro wattu wo heɓɓiɗa kalis e nder Gambia ɗo immoranɗo ma UK, Europe, USA, Canada walla Switzerland e Supersonics Money Transfer. No weli awa itti joni ha octobre gasa wattu wo mo heɓɓiɗa kalis e nder Gambia ɗo immoranɗo ma UK, Europe, USA, Canada walla Switzerland hiɗa wawi gagnade saku maro ko sakuji temedere tunnon heddi awa yawnoɗe wonon he ɓe yimɓe temedere malaɓe fifi gagnagol ndi jenari ɗo he octobre gasude he Supersonics Money Transfer weltoɗe he nde neldirde kalis ɓurde mawnude e nder Gambia yawude laaɓude kadi he joddi fuɗɗordi haydara yehe ka Google Play Store walla ka Apple Store hande waɗon download Supersonics Money Transfer app on weltoɗon he neldugol walla heɓɓagol kalis ndi ñeenari ko Supersonics tum. Supersonics Money Transfer addani on ɗon jeenari
wolle kudima na faaliya kabo sayin kata octobre karo bandula ha kabo sayin kata octobre karo bandula ibe ganyo ro kala mani botolal wato wati ni tata kodota Gambia banko kanjak men botana UK, Europe, USA, Canada wala fo Switzerland ni atambini Supersonics Money Transfer ha bari nyin diata kabo sayin kata octobre karo bandula wato wati ni tata kodota Gambia banko kanjak men botana UK, Europe, USA, Canada wala fo Switzerland alon ko ni mani boto be sela suwo konol nko mani boto keme dronne bijede wote bamban sayin fay da kase ni mo kemol kono men be gagné rokela nyin kudi mala kabo sayin kata octobre karo bandula anin Supersonics Supersonics money transfer dorong ibe ñu sotola wol union sewondi ñu ku koyola mentariata alla no warta ndum bata da clinteje kodita la karola katu yalo ne ko ñun len kodita dulatu men warta gambia banko be kanjang woto ni ko do taje wato wati hani fadino ita jola je tan na Google Play Store wala na Apple Store bi ye Supersonics money transfer app download ye ni sewondi ani ñin kodita dula ani Supersonics ñin kudima be sotola woto dron ne
Supersonics money transfer ñoo dellu si waat indi leen xéewal bu neex a neex fii ba weeri octobre di jeex waaw fii ba weeri octobre di jeex mën nga am sansuwit benn saaku maalo saa yoo jotee xaalis fii ci biir réewi Gambia bàyyee ko foofu sa UK Europe US Canada ak Switzerland ak Supersonics money transfer xanaa lii neexati na doore ko tey ba weeri octobre di jeex mën nga win benn saaku maalo saa yoo jotee xaalis fii ci biir réewi Gambia bàyyee ko UK Europe US Canada ak Switzerland téeméeri saaku maalo ñoo fi nekk kon gaawal nga bokk ci téeméeri nit yi nga xam ne mën nga am sans win ci xéewal yi nga xam ne kenn dootu ko natable ak Supersonics money transfer bànneexu leen ci suñ yónneekaay xaalis bi gën a wóor gën a gaaw gën a noppale ak yónneekaay xaalis bi gën a màgg ci biir réewi Gambia te duñ la fayeeku dara saytu leen ñu ci Google Play Store wala Apple Store nga mën a bindoo ci suñ app bi di Supersonics money transfer app shuu cay bi xéewal ak Supersonics rek
lu bees tàq loolu mooy lan diggante nekk programme boo xam ne dafa jóg pour defar diggante yi
diggante dinañ waxtaane nag ci biir kër yi
diggante nit ki ak boromam
dinañ dem ci biir office yi
diggante nit ki ak yonantum
dinañ génn réew mi
diggante nit ki sax ak moromam bàyyi daam am na ko tiit na lool ci diggante ak boromam mbaa du yàqu yi
te du fi yàqoo diggante dina ko defar fii
ndax nag réeroo amul daal waaye ñàkk a waxtaan a am bu ñu waxtaanee gindandikoo programme boobu nag ana ñen ñoo koy amal
Mouhamadou Lamine Kane al Mansour ànda ak xaritam Baye Dame Diouf ñooy def diggante
Gambian Talents TV ñoo leen di indil programme bu mag boobule
dinañ ko indi ajuma bu nekk bu juróom-ñetti waxtu jotee ba juróom-ñeenti waxtu ak genn wàll
asalaamaaleykum wa rahmatulah.
Supersonics Money Transfer is giving you an unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October. Yes! From now till the end of October, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice when you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, and Switzerland with Supersonics Money Transfer. Amazing! So from now till the end of October, every time you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, and Switzerland, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice. Only 100 bags available, so hurry now and be part of the 100 lucky winners in this special unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October with Supersonics Money Transfer. Enjoy our safe, fast, reliable, and convenient money transfer service with the largest payout network in the Gambia with charges starting from $0. Yes! Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. The unbeatable bonanza with Supersonics.
Itti joni ha october gasa itti joni ha october gasa heyda wawi gagnade saku maro wattu wo hebbida kalis he nder Gambia do immarando ma UK Europe USA Canada wala Switzerland he Supersonics money transfer no weli awa itti joni ha october gasa wattu wo mo hebbida kalis he nder Gambia do immarando ma UK Europe USA Canada wala Switzerland hida wawi gagnade saku maro ko sakuji temedere tunnon heddi awa yawnode wonon hebbe yimbe fifi gagnagol ndi njenari do he october gasude he Supersonics money transfer weltode he ndeneldirde kalis ɓurde mawnude nder Gambia yawunde laaɓunde kadi he joddi fuɗɗorndi hay dara. Yehe ka Google Play Store walla ka Apple Store hande waɗon download Supersonics money transfer app on weltoɗon he neldugol walla heɓɓagol kalis ndi ñeenaari ko Supersonics tu. Supersonics money transfer addani on ɗo jeenaari mawndi ittijo.
Arrival of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia.
suñu njàng yi mooy wax ñu toog ndax
Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliaments for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner, to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. Amen. Good morning, everybody. Please be seated.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia, Your Excellencies, former Vice Presidents, my Lord, the Chief Justice of the Gambia, Honorable former Speakers, Honorable Members of the National Assembly, here in present, Honorable Ministers, Lord Mayors and Regional Governors, leaders of political parties, service chiefs, permanent secretaries, managing directors, venerable religious leaders, distinguished invited guests, the press and protocol, all other protocols respectfully and duly observed. Good morning to you all. Honorable members, in accordance with Section 77(1) of the 1997 Constitution and Clause 24(1) of the Standing Orders, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow, is here today to attend and address this sitting of the National Assembly on the condition of the Gambia, the policies of government, and the administration of the state. On behalf of both sides of the Assembly, I wish to extend a warm welcome to His Excellency, the President of the National Assembly. Honorable members, His Excellency's presence in this August Assembly today is significant in our parliamentary calendar, as it will enable honorable members of the legislature to have the opportunity to hear from the head of the executive, that is His Excellency the President, on the condition of the Gambia, the policies of the government, and the administration of the state. Honorable members, this year marks His Excellency the President's 4th State of the Nation address to the 5th legislature since the inception of the new democratic dispensation. Traditionally, this particular session of the Assembly attracts Gambians and people from all walks of life. However, this year's State of the Nation address is being conducted in a very unusual manner, since we are living in extraordinary times. I have acted in good faith and conscience to invoke Section 98(2) of the 1997 Constitution and Clause 11(4) of the Standing Orders of the National Assembly to restrict the admission of strangers into the public gallery, in line with the general principles of public gathering regulations amid COVID-19. And once again, I wish to welcome His Excellency the President to the National Assembly in fulfillment of his constitutional. Yes, and you're welcome. Clark. His address.
Honorable Speaker, yes, can you ask the President to put on the face mask, since it's the rules of the Parliament?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you. Testing. It's not working. Okay, so. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable National Assembly, Banjul, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, honorable religious leaders, service chiefs, senior government officials, members of the media, fellow Gambians, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it is my honor and pleasure to deliver this annual address to the honorable members of this August Assembly. On my government's performance during the course of the last legislative year. Today, my address presents the successes and challenges of a country that was on a steep rise towards economic boom and socio-political transformation when the unexpected struck. This was the sudden outbreak and rapid spread of the coronavirus, COVID-19. It is an address which attempts to duly highlight my government's achievements and the ever-increasing devastation and impact of the pandemic on the economy and life in the Gambia. It is also an address which should be appreciated within the context of a unique global pandemic and a crisis of tragic consequences. The address highlights a calamity that has dwindled resources, disrupted plans and schedules, and shattered hopes and expectations. This is a crisis that has taken the world by storm and remains a threat to all nations, rich and poor, big and small. In the Gambia, the momentum and expectations for rapid progress were evidently very high. Major development projects and achievements closely followed one another. Our support and resources were sought and tapped from various sources. The people were politically excited, and my government was optimistic of delivering on our promise of leading the nation to unprecedented economic growth and social regeneration in a democratic haven for all Gambians. Unfortunately, like other nations, we had to curtail certain economic activities, restrict movement, scale down work schedules, and finally declare a state of emergency. Economically, key revenue earning institutions have since been crippled, people grounded, and communities adversely affected. Examples will be cited in my address to show the extent of the impact of the pandemic on the economy and social life, and to indicate its implications on the 2018-2021 National Development Plan, NDP, and therefore on our national goals and objectives. Details on sector activities specific to the pandemic will not, however, feature much. The loss of revenue, operational setbacks, and missed targets and opportunities are too obvious to require repetition in each sector report. Let me observe that, important as our development achievements may be, the pandemic and its impact are uniquely more urgent and consequently require utmost attention. As a result, I will focus on the pandemic, hopeful that many of my government's infrastructural, legal, institutional, and other development successes have been reported widely on the media and other forms of news outlets. Nevertheless, prompted by the National Constitution, I am obliged to officially report on my government's performance during the course of the last. Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs projects that the fiscal deficit will widen from 1.5% of GDP to 2.1% of GDP. The pandemic has negatively impacted on budget execution as approved by the National Assembly. The government had to resort to cuts and reallocation of funds from line items such as travel, training, and workshops into much needed areas. These decisions were taken to set aside $500 million as emergency funds to cater for prevention, containment, and respond to the pandemic. Certain budgets, line expenditures have been reallocated to the Ministry of Health for COVID-19 related expenditures. This decision has affected almost all ministries, departments, and agencies. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs was forced to make further budget cuts in the face of declining revenue in recent months and the expected loss of revenue for the rest of the year. With declining revenues and the need to provide humanitarian assistance and support businesses during this period of economic downturn, government is faced with a challenging task for the coming months. The COVID-19 pandemic will continue to have a significant socio-economic impact on the economy, both directly and indirectly. Directly through the effects of the disease on production, investment and trade within the country and between the Gambia and the rest of the world. Indirectly, the impact will be felt through the slowing of global economic growth, supply chain disruptions, and by extension negatively impacting the Gambia's growth prospects. There is an imminent threat of a global recession arising from the pandemic, and the extent of this impact is yet to be fully determined. No matter what the impact will be, government has already devised post-pandemic plans to protect lives and livelihoods. Interior, Madam Speaker, in collaboration with other services, the Gambia Police Force has increased engagement in community and border patrols. However, border enforcement activities on irregular migrants and perpetrators of transnational organized crimes, such as trafficking and smuggling, have been constrained due to the advent of COVID-19. To compound the challenges, key components of the ongoing security sector reform, namely the third phase of the German support training program and the institutional policy drafting process, have been halted. With regard to revenue earnings, in 2019, the Immigration Department generated $139,672,840. However, it is predicted that collection for 2020 is likely to drop severely due to the pandemic. Similarly, production and issuance of national identity cards, biometric passports, and other official documents were postponed. The result was a huge loss of revenue for the sector. The Prisons Department has not been spared, especially in connection with training on life skills and rehabilitation programs for the adult inmates. These programs are important for the effective reintegration of prisoners after their discharge from prison. Furthermore, due to the prevailing situation, staff of various sections, such as firefighters, had to be redeployed as frontline officers for COVID-19 intervention exercises countrywide. This has created capacity gaps in the execution of other duties and program implementation. Construction works, for example, and expansion of service programs have ceased until further notice. The Drug Law Enforcement Agency is facing serious challenges arising from the pandemic. They have limited operational capacity, and this could increase the rate of undetected drug abuse. Increasing the congestion as a response measure to contain COVID-19 has compelled the release on bail of most remand prisoners, as well as the pardoning of some convicts. In addition, court hearings were initially suspended to avoid an overcrowded remand wing. Defense, Madam Speaker. The Gambia depends on the armed and security forces to protect the sovereignty of the nation, while maintaining peace, security, and stability in the country. In responding to the call to duty, the Gambia Navy has intensified routine sea patrols to enforce the law and ensure the security of our borders and the territorial integrity of the nation. Besides their routine work, the armed forces have been actively involved in civil duties that include collaboration with other services and agencies to secure and distribute relief food items countrywide. In addition, their ordnance unit has been producing face masks to protect troops against coronavirus infection. We are proud that the Forces Public Relations Department produced a COVID-19 sensitization video that won an international award from the Global Youth Leaders Network in South Africa. At present, some medical service personnel of the armed forces have been deployed to public health emergency centers to support frontline health workers. We appreciate their sacrifice. Office of the Vice President, Madam Speaker. The Office of the Vice President has a number of institutions under its purview. I will begin with the National Nutrition Agency, NAN, and like all other sectors, my address will leave out details on COVID-19. As contained in the validated National Nutrition Policy 2018-2025, NANA continues to pursue the goal of attaining optimal nutritional requirements for the Gambian population. The objective is to safeguard healthy nutrition of the $31 million social safety net project, funded by the government of the Gambia and the World Bank. NANA is implementing this project in collaboration with other stakeholders. The project targets rural households in the West Coast, North Bank, Central River, Upper River, and Lower River regions. The objective is to improve the coordination of activities and provide temporary social assistance. In the context of COVID-19, the project aims to provide a quick response support, NAFA Quick, to approximately 80,000 households with a 4-month cash transfer of $1,500 per month in 30 districts. In addition, the EU through UNICEF supported the agency with funding to provide a one-off payment of $1,500 to 5,951 beneficiaries, representing about 99% of the targeted 6,000 beneficiaries of the BREST project. The support is to contribute to the food and nutrition security of children of the former BREST beneficiaries. Madam Speaker, apart from other duties, the National Disaster Management Agency, NDMA, has been involved in coordinating my government's food assistance for over 84% of households in the country. The distribution was successfully completed as planned. Together with other stakeholders, the NDMA has developed a roadmap for post-COVID-19 on building resilience in the 4 key areas of health response: social protection, socio-economic recovery mechanism, and the rule of law. As regards this rainy season, the NDMA has engaged stakeholders and UN partners to respond to any disaster. Environment, climate change, and natural resources. Madam Speaker, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the management, protection, and conservation of our environment and natural resources, which involves addressing the threats of climate change, have been major priorities of my government. As the environment and natural resources continue to deplete, we are determined to reduce the high dependency on them and prevent their destruction and depletion respectively. The implementation of the large-scale ecosystem-based adaptation EBA project, which is a $25 million project funded by the Green Climate Fund through the United Nations Environment Program, is ongoing. EBA is aimed at restoring degraded forests and agricultural landscapes with climate resilience plant species that provide goods for consumption or sale. It also seeks to facilitate commercially viable natural resource-based businesses to be managed by community-based organizations. In the area of renewable energy supply, to improve national electricity supply, the ONVG energy project is at an advanced stage. Work on the 2 substations is near completion, and the installation of electric poles in project areas is progressing steadily. As waste management presents a major environment challenge for the country, the Waste Management Bill is under review to deal with waste issues. Trade, industry, regional integration, and employment. Madam Speaker, honorable members, government through the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration, and Employment is delegated to improving the business environment, promoting private sector investment, and supporting small and medium enterprises, SMEs. The purpose is to develop trade and create employment openings, in addition to strengthening bilateral and multilateral cooperation within the context of private sector development as an engine of economic growth. The Ministry has now completed the review of the Labour Act 2007, and a draft bill has been developed. The bill seeks to strengthen industrial relations in the country by ensuring the efficient functioning of the labour market. Currently, the sector is building an employment service center to facilitate linkages between job seekers and employers. The construction works of the center commenced in 2019 and are due for completion this year. Earlier in the year, the Ministry completed the framework for great regulation to enforce the Essential Commodities Act. This relates to the production and distribution of quality bread in the country. The regulation was signed and gazetted in February 2020. Through GAIPA and support from the Commonwealth Secretariat, the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment has begun reviewing the National Export Strategy 2013. The activity began in October 2019, and completion of the new National Export Strategy 2020-2024 is expected to end soon. The review of the National Employment Policy and its action plan is complete, and a validated draft policy and action plan are near finalization. Madam Speaker, in the area of investment promotion, The government has amended the GAIPA Act 2015 to maximize public engagement and benefits in key priority sectors. The Amendment Acts will now help to widen the scope of domestic taxes and reduce over-reliance on trade taxes. In an other development, government is strengthening collaboration with the private sector through the National Business Council, which is now fully operational. The Council has adopted an action plan to implement short and medium-term key business climate reform measures. These measures are implemented and monitored by the Doing Business Task Force established in 2019. The reform is modeled to strengthen the private sector by improving business conditions and removing barriers to competitive job-creating industries. Besides policy reform, GAIPA is devoted to furthering investment promotion programs to attract private sector investment into the Gambia. In the last 2 quarters of 2019, 4 special investment certificate SIC were issued. They have a combined investment potential of $28,810,000 US and a combined employment potential of over 500 workers. On small and medium enterprises and entrepreneurship development through the Entrepreneurship and Private Sector Development Project, capacity building has been intensified for youth and women entrepreneurs. 270 youth have been trained on marketable skills, and 144 persons were trained to improve their entrepreneurial skills. Concurrently, the sector is working with 80 trade companies to support women to improve their production capacity and the quality and packaging of their products. The Youth Empowerment Project and TechIFI remain very useful in supporting SMEs and youth development initiatives. In 2019, a total of 85 SMEs, 213 youth, and 116 entrepreneurs were supported. The YEP project was able to create 928 new jobs, and 132 jobs were sustained. Currently, 3 grants, namely YEP Mini Grant, TechIFI Solar Grant, and the Agro Grant, continue to provide financial support to young entrepreneurs. Madam Speaker, at the regional level, the Gambia maintains its position to participate effectively in the African Continental Free Trade Area negotiations following its adoption in May 2019. Negotiations at the ECOWAS level to agree on the service and exclusive list in the trade in goods negotiations are almost complete. Trade in services negotiations under the AFCFTA started in 2019. However, they have been suspended due to the threat posed by the pandemic. The Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment led the national consultations and drafted the Gambia schedules of specific commitments for the services negotiations. The draft schedules have been shared with ECOWAS for arrangements to prepare the ECOWAS requests and offers in these areas. A quick assessment conducted by the Ministry in partnership with the Gambia Bureau of Statistics on the labor market reveals that job loss is estimated at 52,752 employed people in both formal and informal sectors as a result of the lockdown. This will worsen the already high unemployment rate of 35.2% as reported in 2018. The Entrepreneurship and Private Sector Development Project funded by UNDP has equally directed a significant sum of its allocated budget to the fight against COVID-19. These targets for investment promotion will be constrained this year. Foreign affairs, international cooperation, and Gambians abroad. Madam Speaker, as expected, the pandemic has adversely impacted on the foreign service operations of the Gambia. Similar to other sectors, part of the funds allocated for program implementation in the foreign service sector was diverted, resulting in the inability to implement some of the programs that were approved. The pandemic coincided with my government's decision to downsize the foreign service through the closure of some diplomatic missions and recall of diplomatic personnel on the basis of executing a staff-monitored program. As a result of the global lockdown, the exercise has been stalled. This has negative financial implications for government. To complicate matters further, development cooperation activities at the international level have been disrupted. Joint commissions with bilateral partners and major international conferences scheduled for 2020 have been postponed. Agreed programs with partners and the volume of assistance expected from development partners could not materialize as planned. In short, funds for development cooperation were diverted to national emergency funds to combat the pandemic. Lands, regional government, NGO, and religious affairs, Madam Speaker. The conflict over land and natural resources, LNR, project has been put on hold by FAO. This project is meant to strengthen the legal framework for land and natural resource-related conflict resolution and governance. It is designed as well to enhance mechanisms for conflict prevention in communities where land and natural resource-related violence has occurred, and to support peace-building efforts. The manual for land and natural resources have already been developed. I will seize this opportunity to stress that recent land ownership conflicts stirred by individual interests have been noted by my government. Having inherited most of them, I reassure those affected that my government is working to ensure that the rule of law and justice prevail. The ultimate goal is to sustain peace so that we can focus on development and live together peacefully. Madam Speaker, economic activities within the sector have decreased. As a result, revenue collection has reduced, whereas, for example, from January to March 2020, 8,148,143 was realized, representing a monthly average of $2,716,047. The figures dropped during the COVID-19 period. The Department of Community Development under the Ministry of Lands is now implementing participatory demand-driven community development strategies to enhance decentralized structures and support community-based organizations. All these initiatives are geared towards reducing poverty and facilitating sustainable socio-economic development for all. To this end, plans are on the way to present the NGO bill before this August body. Madam Speaker, honorable members, in spite of all the challenges relative to the pandemic, the ministry signed an MOU with Helping Hand Foundation in Belgium to provide funding of about $5 million for over 20 communities and capacity building training on management and enterprise development. On the other hand, the 2020 challenge, which was expected to generate over $10 million, has been cancelled. This has blocked the implementation of community projects valued at $10 million. Responding to the need of out-of-school youth, support is provided for women and youth to acquire life and livelihood skills. The aim is to expand employment opportunities for them. The recently launched ecosystem-based adaptation project will further support this initiative in LRR, CRR, and URR. Unfortunately, the skills and capacity building training for a target group of 5,000 youth and women has been stalled. A total of over $2.5 million has been lost by these entrepreneurs due to the lockdown. To end on a positive note, the Department of Community Development has initiated the formulation of a national community development policy. Agriculture, Madam Speaker. The Ministry of Agriculture is one of the most important sectors in the country, as many Gambians are either occupational farmers or depend on farming for subsistence. To increase production, therefore, the Ministry of Agriculture has been active in policy development and program implementation. To cite examples, it has developed a National Agricultural Extension Policy 2019 to promote production and value addition, value chain development, strengthening the agricultural extension system, and building partnerships. Among other instruments that drive agricultural service delivery is the National Horticulture Sector Strategy, which supports the objectives of modernizing agriculture in the Gambia. A Cooperative Policy 2019 to revitalize cooperative principles and values has now been conceived. Likewise, a bill on plant health protection has been initiated to support the establishment of a modern plant protection organization. Parallel to this is the Animal Health Bill 2020 in the country. In its transformation process, the Ministry of Improvement, Control and Eradication of Pests of groundnut seeds have been provided to farmers on loan, repayable from their produce. As additional support, varieties of certified seeds have also been distributed to them. Furthermore, after 23 years, arrangements have been finalized to revive cotton production in the country with assurance of a market in Senegal. In preparation for the 2020 rainy season, government distributed various items of machinery and equipment to our farmers nationwide. They include a good number of tractors, power tillers, milling machines, pumping machines, and other agricultural inputs. With the support of the National Assembly, especially its Select Committee on Agriculture, an extra $100 million has been budgeted for farming implements, equipments, disease control mechanism, livestock, poultry production, and seed production, among other interventions. It is a welcome development that an emergency response plan has been set in motion in collaboration with the World Bank, with the World Food Programme. About 22,073 highly vulnerable households and roughly 69,499 food insecure households will benefit from these arrangements. Still on development in this sector, the Ministry of Agriculture is encouraging private business enterprises. Plans are afoot, for instance, to grant Marrow Farms a revolving fund of $10 million as microfinance to boost production. Marrow Farms is already active in the Pachar fields. Having validated the second Gambia National Investment Program, this year the ministry plans to build facilities across the country to reduce post-harvest losses. We are thankful to the Chinese and the Japanese governments, together with all our development partners, for supporting the sector. Petroleum and energy, Madam Speaker. The uncertainty caused by COVID-19 pandemic has led to the suspension of the planned drilling exploration by FAR Petronas. Hence, drilling has been rescheduled from end of the year 2020 to 2021. Similarly, British Petroleum's drilling activities will commence in 2021. Due to low demand, the prices of petroleum products are falling. To mitigate the anticipated impact, my government has ensured that both heavy and light fuel will be made available countrywide. Through the ongoing structural and legislative reform, government will table a bill to create an autonomous petroleum commission to further strengthen the regulatory landscape and guarantee regulatory independence for the upstream activities of the sector. Madam Speaker, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in collaboration with our partners, the government have undertaken a number of important projects and programs in this sector, which has been hampered by the pandemic. These include the National Electricity Access Project, the ECOWAS and AFDB supported projects, 1,100 schools and health facilities solar project, and the renewable energy and energy efficiency installation project, among others. The mining sector is a driving force for employment and availability of raw materials for the construction industry. Nonetheless, we have been mindful of regulating it. Based on the regulations for precious materials, 5 special mining licenses have been granted. To avoid depleting our sand resources, licenses are now issued for inland sand mining. Exploration of sand offshore is being considered. These issues will be captured in the proposed minerals and mining policy that will be developed and tabled before this August Assembly. Fisheries and water resources, Madam Speaker. Fisheries is a key revenue earner for the Gambia. I am happy to report that from September 2019 to date, the sector generated total revenue of $178,710,608 from industrial fishing operations. This was earned through the EU-Gambia Sustainable Fisheries Partnership Agreement, fishing license, fines and fish landings. During the period under review, the industrial fisheries employment for 1,036 Gambian youth, mainly as fisheries observers and deckhands on board in the fishing. To reduce the economic impact of the pandemic on small-scale operators in the fishing industry, the suspension on night fishing has been deferred from 4th August to 30 November 2020. Turning to the water subsector, regular water monitoring through sampling and purification are important activities for access to clean water. The Department of Water Resources has intensified such activities through support from development partners and partner institutions. Under the government of the Gambia and UNICEF Country Program of Cooperation, support is extended to schools and health facilities. Sanitation facilities have been provided for 5 schools and water supply systems for 6 lower and upper basic schools across 4 regions of the country. In addition, construction and rehabilitation of water supply systems in 5 health facilities and provision of adequate sanitation facilities for the health facilities in Basse and Dialogo has been accomplished. Madam Speaker, the Department of Water Resources, in partnership with UNICEF, has started the process of procuring essential substances and equipment, including water storage facilities, to improve on water testing, purification and distribution. This will improve water supply and sanitation activities, particularly in rural communities. Earlier this year, in collaboration with other stakeholders, the ministry handed over 27 solar-powered water supply systems within the 5 regions of the country. 47 communities with a combined population of 50,000 rural dwellers now benefits from this project. This was achieved through the Saudi Sahelian Project Phase 5. Youth and sports. Madam Speaker, my government attaches special importance to the youth and sports sector. In this regard, the validated youth policy 2019-2028 will soon guide the development programs for Gambian youth. The National Sport Policy 2010-2019 and the Strategic Plan 2015-2019, which were the main policy instruments for the youth and sports sector, now are the focus of a terminal review, leading to the development of successor frameworks. Was able to recruit 602 youth. All of them have been placed for skill acquisition in various areas. Most of them were either employed or are self-employed. Over 150 youth are now on placement at various skill centers or other institutions. Aside from other significant programs, the PIA has successfully implemented the Community Development Initiative in 35 communities across the regions. 2,422 youth participated in the award program, and 699 people have completed their awards. From February 2015 to date, through the Gambia Songha Initiative Project, about business and value addition. The indication is that they have either been engaged or are self-employed. In the area of sports, the Gambia has been doing very well in various international events. Once the threat of the pandemic ends, Government's encouragement and support to step up sports and recreation will resume. Connected to this, in an endeavor to expand accommodation for both the tourist and sport industries, the sector is working towards upgrading the Friendship Hostel to a 3-star hotel at an estimated cost of $35 million. To update their policy instruments, the Ministry of Youth and Sports will formulate a national sports policy for 2020-2029 and a strategic plan. Once developed, they will be brought before this august body for approval. Arts, tourism and culture, Madam Speaker. Since the change of government in 2017, the arts and culture subsectors have been boosted in relation to participation and investment. I am happy to report that in February 2020, the Gambia submitted its periodic report on the UNESCO 2008 Convention on Cultural Expression, with the Gambia signed in 2011. The report was adopted by the UNESCO subcommittee on the convention. The door is now open for the Gambia creative industries to benefit from the UNESCO International Fund for Cultural Diversity. In the year under review, the National Council for Arts and Culture benefited from and successfully executed a grant from UNESCO Country Participation Program to train 24 Gambian youths on entrepreneurship in the creative industries. To further my government's policy to promote rural and ecotourism plans are underway to construct a 40-bedroom, 4-star eco-lodge at Fort Bullen on the North Bank. This will be the first of its kind in rural Gambia. The Gambia Tourism Board intends to construct 4 similar facilities in each region. These facilities are expected to create job opportunities to the rural youth and trigger in-country tourism. Let me add that through the European Union funded Youth Empowerment Project YEP, a 3-year project on youth and the creative industries has been launched to facilitate capacity building and funding for youth who are actively in the media arts, fashion, music and audio visual enterprises. The project is planned to begin later this year. When all these programs are linked with those mentioned earlier, it will become evident that the government is serious about addressing the plight of our youth, especially by reducing unemployment. We encourage the youth to make the most of these opportunities. Higher education, research, science and technology, Madam Speaker. The tertiary and higher education sector is focused on its mandate of human capital development, most particularly through training, research and education at tertiary and higher levels. Accordingly, the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology currently sponsors 1,061 students in the University of the Gambia. 31% of them are female. 600 more students are sponsored at the Gambia Technical Training Institute, GDTI, the Gambia College and the Management Development Institute, MDI. Additionally, over 680 students are on studies abroad through hours granted by various countries, such as the People's Republic of China, Cuba, India, Malaysia, and Morocco. We are thankful to all the countries, institutions, and organizations that continue to offer scholarships to Gambian students. At present, the Ministry of Higher Education is closely supervising the ongoing construction of the University of the Gambia Faraba Banta campus. At the same time, efforts are being made to continue works for the establishment of the Nenman Skill Center under the proposed program of 1 technical and vocational education and training center in each administrative region. Through this program, the refurbished Julangel Skill Center will continue offering classes to the community of URR. In the LRR, the refurbished Mansakongo GDTI Annex continues to deliver related courses. In a bid to transforming the tertiary and higher education sector for the provision of high quality education and training, 4 bills will be submitted for tabling by this August Assembly. These are the Gambia University of Science, Engineering and Technology Bill 2020, the National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Authority Bill 2020, the University of the Gambia Bill 2020, and the Gambia Institute for Public Administration and Management Bill 2020. These bills spell out arrangements to transform GTDI MDI into degree awarding institution. Through the arrangements, a variety of new courses will be offered, with TVET accorded more attention to address the skills gap within the Gambian workforce. The respective schools of the Gambia College will be indexed into the University of the Gambia, and teachers will be trained from diploma to higher levels. Also finalized is the 2020-2024 tertiary and higher education sector strategic plan. The plan caters for educational continuity with contingency measures for unforeseen circumstances. Last but not the least, my government has initiated a stimulus package for Gambia government-sponsored and non-sponsored students studying abroad. It is a contribution towards their sustenance during these difficult times. In collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology is administering this package on behalf of government. Basic efforts are close nation with directly affect the loss of instructional hours arising from these threatens the attainment of lessons and other social media platforms. In particular, we commend the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, together with the Gambia Teachers Union and partners, for providing about 500 solar-powered transistor radio sets to deprived households in URR, CRR, LRR, and NBR. This has enabled children in those households to follow lessons delivered for them. It is regrettable that the national assessment test could not be conducted this year due to the pandemic, since the targeted grades were not in school. However, it is gratifying to indicate that the Gambia Basic Education Certificate Examination and the West African Senior Secondary Certificate Examination has been conducted successfully. Failure to have conducted these terminal exams had serious transition at the basic and secondary school levels. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to recover the lost time, the basic and secondary education sector is considering the extension of time spent in school, stepping up double shift arrangements, intensifying and extending lessons for all the grades, rescheduling examinations, and adjusting curriculum education sector. Transport works and infrastructure. Madam Speaker, I will begin on a high note to state that during the period under review, important road and building projects in the North Bank region and the Greater Banjul area were completed and inaugurated, covered by the media. From dates will change as most contractors have scaled down their work schedules. Turning to the transport subsector, it is interesting that the Port of Banjul registered growth during the first quarter of 2020 compared to the corresponding period of 2019. The volume of cargo handled during this period increased by 8.3% to 814,693 metric tons. Container volumes increased by 5.4% from 32,389 in 2019 to 34,230 in 2020. However, due to the general decline in trading activities, container delivery in terms of daily gate output is lower than the average of 200. The closure of the Trans-Gambia ferry services and the scaling down of ferry services have severely affected revenue generation, with up to 60% loss in daily collection. It must be observed that the real impact of the lockdown is likely to be felt later. Until now, this subsector has a remarkable revenue, earned. Madam Speaker, the Maritime Division has registered a big drop in revenue collection when compared to the fourth quarter of 2019. Revenue collected from licensing fees dropped from $2.4 million during the fourth quarter of 2019 to $1.5 million in the first quarter of 2020. Another setback on revenue collection is the stoppage of the levy on freight. Overall, revenue and freight levy dropped by $300,000 from approximately $5 million during the fourth quarter of 2019. The global impact for the first quarter of 2020 is about $5,121,000, and this difference is likely to increase in the months ahead. The decline in tours and travels has slowed down the aviation industry. The industry is experiencing huge revenue loss, which may persist until November 2020. The Gambia International Airlines alone is projected to make a total loss of $5.6 million by October 2020. To sum it up, COVID-19 has disrupted the operations and services of the transport, works and infrastructure sector, which will surely have a serious negative impact on the economy. Health, Madam Speaker. My government, through the Ministry of Health, remains steadfast and dedicated to providing affordable and quality health care services, particularly in times of hardship or calamities. Reacting to the coronavirus pandemic, for example, the Ministry of Health developed a comprehensive preparedness and response plan. It focuses, among other areas, on scaling up and strengthening support, coordination, surveillance, case management, communication and logistics. With support from the Global Fund, the National Public Health Laboratory has been refurbished and upgraded to a biological safety level 3 laboratory. Now it tests for COVID-19, which was done in the past solely by the Medical Research Council, Gambia. The former Denman Clinic and Sanatorium are ready for use as centers to treat COVID-19 patients if necessary. I must add that plans are underway to construct 8 permanent treatment centers and refurbish other isolation centers across the country. Also, with support from the World Bank, a new national emergency treatment center and a training center will be established to respond to emergency cases. Madam Speaker, in line with the National Health Financing Policy 2017-2030 and the National Health Financing Strategy Plan 2018-2024, the introduction of a national health insurance scheme for the first time in this country is at an advanced stage. The draft bill on the scheme is ready for review by Cabinet. Focusing attention on other legal frameworks, the National Health Policy 2012-2020 and the National Health Sector Strategy Plan 2014-2020 will expire this year. Consequently, a new health policy and strategic plan will be developed for the sector. On maternal and child health services, my government is committed to the reduction of under 5 and maternal mortality. In the interim, significant gains have been registered recently for both infant mortality and under 5 mortality. Equally, deliveries conducted by skilled birth attendants in health facilities have increased. The Gambia is determined to provide free immunization services to all children in the country. As evidence, this year my government contributed $32 million towards immunization services. Madam Speaker, members of this August Assembly, the Gambia is one of the few countries in Africa that have successfully piloted the use of the HPV vaccine. The vaccine reduces the risk factors of girls and women from contracting HPV, which has a strong link with the deadly cervical cancer. As part of efforts to implement the concept of primary health care in the country and to strengthen healthcare services at the basic level, primary healthcare villages have increased by 12% from 634 to 722. Our collaboration with Riders for Health has been very useful in the realization of these successes, noting that they have procured a fleet of new ambulances, motorcycles and other vehicles for the health sector. While appreciating this partnership, I thank all the operatives within the sector, including MRC Gambia, for risking their lives to serve as foot soldiers against the deadly coronavirus. Thank you all for the noble sacrifice. Justice, Madam Speaker, the Gambia remains committed to its promise and desire of upholding good governance, democracy, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. In this direction, our plan was to complete the building blocks of the legal sector reform agenda in 2020. We regret, however, due to the advent of COVID-19, delaying the finalization of the legislative reform is unavoidable. Consistent with the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission Act, the TRRC is on course to completing its 2-year mandate by the end of 2020. In January 2020, the Commission submitted their interim report to the government, highlighting the activities they undertook in their first year of operations. They have promised to complete their work as scheduled. In March 2020, the Constitutional Review Commission submitted the final draft constitution. The new Constitution Bill 2020 was gazetted and tabled before the National Assembly after the 3-month period stipulated by law. Following the tabling of the Anti-Corruption Bill at the National Assembly, we expect that it will be enacted during this legislative session. In consequence, the first ever National Anti-Corruption Commission is expected to be established before the end of 2020. The pandemic has prevented the enactment of a number of bills, but to complete the legislative reform started in 2017, 17 bills are ready for enactment during this legislative year. They include 12 amendment bills, the Skin Bleaching Prohibition and Repeal Bill 2020, and 4 new bills. These are the Criminal Offences Bill 2020, the Criminal Procedure Bill 2020, the Prevention and Prohibition of Torture Bill 2020, and the International Crimes Bill 2020. Madam Speaker, over the years, my government embarked on the task of restoring confidence in the judiciary and safeguarding speedy dispensation of justice in the country. To realize these objectives, we have succeeded in staffing the high courts adequately. Through the Office of the Chief Justice, for instance, the government appointed additional judges during the period under review. Most of them are Gambians. This is a result of our resolve to staff the courts with competent Gambians. Following the measures enforced to prevent coronavirus infection, it was necessary to suspend court proceedings throughout the country. Upon resuming work, the courts had to scale down sittings. However, to speed up justice delivery, 2 virtual courts were set up in the High Court to deal with applications for bail and other urgent matters. We thank the UNDP for supporting this initiative. It is planned that the use of ICT will be rolled out to the magistrate courts as a permanent feature to improve efficiency. A new High Court now operates at Mile 7, Bakau. This new facility accommodates a judge of the High Court and staff. Sessions have already begun, bringing justice closer to the people. And other High Court operates within the Bundu Magistrate Court premises, with a judge presiding over cases there. Further still, a resident of High Court judge in the URR presides over cases in CRR, LRR, and MBR. The purpose is to facilitate speedy disposal of cases in the rural area. Information and communication infrastructure. Madam Speaker, COVID-19 has affected the ICT sector equally hard, leading to program and project implementation delays. By extension, it has negatively impacted on business and revenue flow for state-owned enterprises. Specific to the Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure, the consultancy for the formulation of the ICT for Development Master Plan scheduled for completion by end June 2020 is still pending. Also, the government-wide area network project, which is intended to provide a reliable platform for intra-government communications, was scheduled for completion in the first quarter of 2020. This important project is now set for completion by December 2020. As part of regional efforts to strengthen cybersecurity, the ministry has secured funds from the ECOWAS Commission and the Organized Crime West African Response on Cybercrime to roll out a digital lab for the Gambia Police Force. Within the country, the Gambia Computer Incident Response Team has been established to deal with internal cybersecurity-related threats. The migration from analog to digital broadcasting also had to be halted after the successful launch of the first phase in February 2020. This hindered the completion of the project in the second quarter of 2020. Turning attention to Gamtel, implementation of their turnaround strategy has encountered delays, thus constraining the company's revenue flow. By the same token, Gamcel revenue marked a significant decline in the first quarter of 2020. This has affected efforts to upgrade Gamcel's network to 4G. Although works are ongoing, completion of this project is now scheduled for the first quarter of 2021 instead of December 2020. Gampos also experienced significant revenue decline from sale of stamps. In addition, commissions received from post-money transfer have plunged, as these depend largely on remittances from the diaspora. This meant that Gampos had to struggle with meeting their operational costs, including the payment of salaries. However, government intervention through the Supplementary Appropriation Bill has helped to maintain salary payments. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation has reported similar program implementation delays and insufficient supply of printing materials from suppliers. Added to these challenges are other operational setbacks and significant loss of revenue. In spite of the challenges, the Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure succeeded in validating several components of the ICT for Development Master Plan. The cybersecurity and broadband policies and their accompanying strategies, as well as components of ICT for Development Policy. To strengthen the e-government program, the Ministry has successfully completed works on the second phase of the project on fiber to ministries, departments, and agencies. This is another important initiative to eventually establish a single government-wide area network. The arrangements include enhancing digital solutions for COVID-19 response and mitigating through the digital health response mechanism. Finally, with support from the World Bank, work is in progress to migrate from the e-government data center to the private cloud data center of the National Broadband Network. Women, Children and Social Welfare. Madam Speaker, the Ministry of Women, Children and Social Welfare has embarked on using integrated approaches and establishing new solutions to advance gender equity and equality, reinforce social protection systems, promote child protection, and importantly, create social safety nets for persons with disabilities. The pandemic has certainly impacted negatively on the sector's projects and programs, resulting in low implementation rates. In this connection, with the support from the UN agencies, the Ministry conducted a study on the socio-economic impact of COVID-19 on women and girls. The key findings indicate that some women are at risk of facing threats to their safety and freedom rights due to movement restrictions, thus increasing their confinement with their abusers. The pandemic also threatens access to reproductive and child health care. As the number of COVID-19 cases continue to increase, concerns are growing about the pandemic's immediate and long-term effects on certain demographics, especially on women, children, the youth, and on skilled workers. Madam Speaker, in partnership with the Office of the First Lady, the Ministry of Women and Social Welfare joined the battle against the pandemic by providing sanitary items, rice to 8 markets, 200 communities, the Gambia Prisons Department, Tanka Tanka, 5 chronic learning centers, Majilis, and the Gambia Federation for Persons with Disabilities. In progress is the construction of a solar-powered borehole for the Bakode Shelter for Children and the Elderly, implemented through the PAPIF project, and number of under the purview of the Ministry. As this is a new ministry, allow me to observe that the staff successfully provided food items to 1,000 vulnerable households with children in the West Coast, North Bank, and Central River regions. To count it all, they were able to reunite 146 children from Senegal with their families in the Gambia. Department of Strategic Policy and Delivery, Madam Speaker. The recently restructured Department of Strategic Policy and Delivery, DSPD, under the Office of the President, is the technical arm of the office. It became fully operational in October 2019 and provides outputs, inputs, and advice for the formulation and analysis of public policies and programs. It also worked towards speeding up and coordinating delivery of quality projects for the citizenry. Within this short span of time, the DSPD mooted and supported the creation of the National Economic Council, which I chair, and participates in the quarterly National Business Council meetings chaired by Her Excellency the Vice President. The Business Council provides a platform for dialogue between government and the private sector. Acting on behalf of my office, the DSPD is the interface between my government and the United Nations system pertaining to interventions under the UN Development Assistance Framework ending 2021. Together with UNDP, the department initiated the program for accelerated community development. This is an articulation and intervention of the 4 presidential priorities of access to potable water, rural access roads, rural electrification, and food security support, entailing provision of labor-saving machines. The project strives to promote inclusive development by bringing basic socio-economic services to the rural population, especially those in hard-to-reach communities. It is a $5 million project. The financing agreement was signed with UNDP in April 2020 to formally kickstart implementation. The Policy Analysis Unit of the Department provides strategic support to MDAs in the area of public policy formulation and gives technical support to Cabinet and the National COVID-19 Committee on Government Strategic Response to the pandemic. Madam Speaker, the DSPD has launched 2 flagship publications to share analytical reports and policy notes with MDAs and development partners. The overarching goal of this initiative is to promote evidence-based, effective and transparent policy development and application. This aside, the department supports data analysis, exercise and generation of simulation models to inform decision making. Such support contributed to the adoption of sustainable responses among a range of other options in the fight against COVID-19 in the country. Recently, the department was tasked to work with the Gambia OIC Secretariat to appraise the country's state of preparedness and progress towards hosting the 2020 OIC Summit and identify the existing financing gaps requiring attention. We await the report on this exercise. Concluding remarks, Madam Speaker. Over the past 3 years, my government has systematically addressed the unfavorable state of affairs we found in the country when we came into office. We have productively reconnected the Gambia with the global community. In the process, we have paid undivided attention on infrastructure development, energy, governance, and legal matters, institutional reform and strengthening, and amid a strong determination to guarantee and sustain lives and livelihoods. 2020 and 2021 would have seen the boosting of all these achievements and wrapping up of the MVP programs and activities in readiness for the Third Republic. Unfortunately, these are moments of uncertainty, as we cannot predict how the pandemic will evolve. But we hope for revival after this bitter experience. Meanwhile, the lessons to learn from this pandemic are clear. It has brought about a new social order that calls for discipline, collective action, determination, and accepting reality as it is. The indication is that we are in a health, economic, and social crisis that will linger on into the future, and a situation that we may have to live with. It poses challenges to contend with, not only with resources, but also with all the courage and energy we can muster. In the face of all this, my government maintains that survival, lives, and livelihoods come first. In other words, we rank the people higher than anything else. I encourage all Gambians to remain calm, focused, and dedicated to making a positive difference our resilience in order to achieve our noble aspirations. Like other nations, the pandemic has struck the country. Lives have been lost, and social life is no longer what it used to be. There are fears and concerns about our well-being, and most families are worried about the survival chances of their dear ones, especially the elderly and other vulnerable groups. I convey heartfelt condolences to all the bereaved families, and I pray that all the departed souls rest in eternal peace. We must accept that we need to be more mindful of what we do, where we go, and how we behave and interact. The situation calls for transforming our fears and faith into strength, protecting ourselves with all the precautionary measures and resolutions, while hoping for better days ahead. With the wisdom that has come with this immense crisis, let us unite closely and contribute productively to our well-being in our various ways, as individuals, organizations, institutions, and as a government, a nation, and a people bound by a common heritage. The pandemic has taught us the need to cultivate a new culture of cleanliness, a new social order of living in harmony as human beings, a new political vision of working together, and a new way of embracing solidarity. For our collective safety and survival, let us redefine our roles and development paths against the realities of the times. As we meet here, millions of people have already been infected with the coronavirus. Hundreds of thousands have already died, and more are dying as a result of COVID-19. Madam Speaker, in spite of this dim picture, we will not be distracted, nor shall we relent. The pandemic will neither undermine our vision, nor resolve to direct our energies and resources for the development and welfare of the Gambian citizens. For us, life, rights, and happiness for every human being matter above any other agenda. As we paddle on, Madam Speaker, we cannot allow our attention and energy to be diverted to issues that have no cultural or religious value, nor any significance to contribute to advancement of our nation. I would like to draw the curtain on recent debates about the rights of people with different sexual orientations. Let me emphasize that our partnership with our development partners is based purely on mutual respect for the advancement of our people. At this juncture, let me reiterate my appreciation and gratitude to the CRC for submitting the draft constitution within the specified time frame. The draft copy has gone through the required processes and was tabled recently by this August Assembly to allow for the remaining phases of finalizing and adopting the new constitution. Madam Speaker, I assure all Gambians that my government is determined that the general elections will be conducted in 2021 as scheduled. My conviction is that whatever our position or belief may be, we should always concede to the national interest and forgo selfishness. On behalf of the entire nation, I thank all civil and public servants, the security service personnel, all commission members, friendly nation, development partners, organizations, groups and individuals, both within the country and outside, as well as all Gambians for their contribution to our successes during the past year. We are in no less measure grateful to all those who continue to support us, especially in sustaining our fight against the coronavirus. Madam Speaker, honorable members of this August Assembly, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish this August Assembly very fruitful deliberations during the year, and I pray that whatever we do, may it be in the best interest of the nation. I wish, with these remarks, I pray that Allah bless us, guide us, and protect us. I thank you for your
Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that address. May I call on any honorable member for a second? Let me call on Sabah Sayal, honorable member for Sabah Sayal.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
Thank you very much. It has been moved and seconded that this Assembly do consider the motion on the State of the Nation address delivered by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adama Barrow. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those not in favor, please say no. So the ayes have it. Now, honorable members, the consideration and debate proper on the motion so tabled will now be adjourned for Monday, the 21st of September, 2020, to give honorable members ample time to digest the said address. But before I adjourn the sitting, please allow me, on behalf of both sides of this August Assembly, and indeed on my own behalf, to one and the urgent need for national unity, peace, stability, especially amid COVID-19, as stated by the President. As people's representatives, we are charged to do our best to ensure that the policies and programs outlined in His Excellency's address are thoroughly scrutinized and debated with due diligence. It is also important for us to have a clear understanding of the government's policies, development programs, and aspirations. This will provide the National Assembly and its various committees with the tools necessary to perform its legislative and oversight functions. And on that note, Your Excellency, Mr. President, I thank you once more for addressing this Assembly. And in the same vein, I wish to express thanks and gratitude to Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic, Your Excellencies, former Vice Presidents, my Lord the Chief Justice, former Honorable Speakers, Honorable Ministers herein present, Honorable Members of this August Assembly, Lord Mayors and Regional Governors, leaders of all political parties, service chiefs, the permanent secretaries, managing directors, venerable religious leaders, the press, and the protocol teams, all distinguished invited guests for gracing this solemn occasion in the calendar of the National Assembly. By extension, on behalf of both sides of the August Assembly, I also wish to register our gratitude to all Gambians, that is our electorates, both within and in the that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and guide us all. But before I put the question, may I kindly remind all guests to remain seated to allow His Excellency the President to take leave of the chambers, to be followed by Her Excellency the Vice President and others. And on that note, I will now put the question. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned till Monday, the 21st of September, 2020. Those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those not in favor, please say no. So the ayes have it. The Assembly now stands adjourned till Monday, the 21st of September 2020 at 10 a.m. prompt. I thank you all for your attention. Please can we allow His Excellency the President. Thank you.
Welcome back to another edition. Wow, it's coming studios. Hello. Welcome back to another edition of the Gambling Calendar Studios. Live and direct here in the studio. But it's all good. I'm a big problem. Didn't the Minister of Sports, Youth and Sport, how?
I'm fine.
By the way, just we are live. We want to know what's your take on the president?
I think it's brilliant. He has really been very, I think it's left to you people now for discussion.
What are you expecting from the president that you didn't say?
Actually, I don't know because I'm very interested. I don't know those well-trained youth, highly skilled, and good culture. So for that reason, we cannot run away from our, natural, attitude or communities. So they are always here to work with us, and they are free always, as I said. I always want to exhaust them, so they can see me at any time or see my technicians and we resolve issues. Yeah.
Thank you very much. mbokk yi dafa mel ni honorable Ousseynou Dabo mu ngi nii bu boobaa rek dinañ bëgg a waxtaan ak moom ñu gis ko tey si draft constitution bi mu ñëw fii honorable how are you?
I'm good.
By the way, you look good on your.
Oh, thank you very much.
I want to know what's your take on today's speech?
Comply with the Constitution by addressing the nation, giving us the problems that his government faces and the nation as a whole faces. And of course, we didn't hear much of a solution to the problems. We have the problems, but not much of a solution. And we hope that after since he has delivered the speech, identify the problems, that he and the cabinet will sit down and try to find solutions to these problems.
A lot of people are saying the president should just stop at this time. What is your take? Should he go in for another time?
Well, I think that's a matter for him to decide. Because, or for me personally, I do not wish to express political leader should be him. I leave it to the conscience of a particular politician to decide what he wants to do.
Do you think he should have mentioned that he didn't mention on his speech? And if it was you would have mentioned?
To mention what?
In his speech, he already read the speech. So what do you think he should have mentioned? What do you think he should have talked about that he did not talk about?
Well, I don't know whether it escaped me, but I didn't hear anything about the security sector reform. I'm not sure whether it escaped me. I heard talk about defense and so forth, but specifically on the security sector reform I didn't hear. And I think this is very important. We really should do. Well, I heard about the tourism board trying to establish, I think, tourist facilities outside of the Greater Banjul area. The objective of it is good, but I'm not sure whether the tourism board is the proper medium that should be involved in that. I would have thought that should be left to the private sector, encourage the private sector to do that rather than the GTV.
Well, you are a seasoned lawyer, to be honest, and a lot of people are watching. Which of the constitution do you prefer? The first constitution, the 1997 constitution, or the current draft constitution?
Well, laws, we always have improvements on laws. The 1997 constitution was some kind of improvements on the 1970 constitution, and current or the draft constitution is a much bigger improvement on the past two constitutions. So I would prefer the draft constitution that is being debated. I hope that members of the National Assembly will see that constitution is passed. After all, that constitution is embodiment of the wishes, thinking, and contribution of the ordinary Gambian people who the members of the National Assembly rely on to be elected to the office. So their views should be respected and it should go untampered.
Will you mind to just say that in Mandinka? I know the Mandinkas will like to hear from.
So I mean, in constitution and for lafta wala ban for constitution dole. So me for no wala ka loi de e ka jankundi la wato wati e ka fen la jeeto men mo bete e bondi jeeto o fen jeeto men bete ata bari imagine wande so e ka wa falin na ko tala miro ton tanga menje wala ka ko ni constitution me yalon ka ko ba ka ta kan olom court me yalon ka ko loi me yalon ka ko le nyanta lola banko kam ni nom loi me yalon ko gambe dinglu melbe bantala men be bijanto itelle be sita yela mirariata ya di CRC la wal fanal ya safe bi mamira ka ko ditol nyanta fembond lawoto kadi ko mol mel lefta mel yalo ka ko loi be nyanta mel marla wal ko kontelle lante lefta nyine la manke ni ka ko mo site fay jana ka ko tam nyine la bar gambe ko ko lefta nyine la ko alo di gambe
sangata ko man pare jana
ko ya ta ba gambe ko ila hako
people believe that the president could have said all this in the beginning of the year instead of waiting now to address the nation on the draft.
No, the beginning of the year, I don't think really the draft constitution had been ready because I think it was in March when the current draft was presented. So at the beginning of the year, you couldn't have said anything. I don't think anybody should really want to fault him for that because you cannot say anything on a draft that is not a final draft to be presented to National Assembly. So I don't think it would have been it would have been immature. It would have been premature for him to really have done that. And anyone who wants to blame him for that, you are not being fair to him.
Your message to President Adam Barrow, if he was watching and you are also talking to him, what will you tell him?
Good luck, President.
What is next for UDP?
Next government is UDP.
And who will be the president?
the UDP candidate selected. Whoever is selected as the UDP candidate will be the president.
Do you think UDP can be a good fit for the Gambia?
Where they can be?
A good fit for the Gambia to hold the presidency.
That is why we are selling ourselves to the Gambian people. Tell them we are the people who are fit to manage this place. We are the people who are dedicated, to the cause of this country. We have shown it as politicians, and we will do better when we are in government. Yeah.
COVID-19 2020 right now, don't you think will affect the coming election?
I don't see how it's going to affect it. You see, I was just telling one of the media houses in 1982, we had a state of public emergency, and yet we had elections. So why can't we hold elections now? And in any case today, I can sit in my house and address the whole nation through the online media. So I don't have to go out, to Bakadaji or to go out to Bondali. I can sit in my house, do it there. So why should elections not be held?
Do you think the Gambia have that capacity?
Well, I think the Gambia has that capacity. As I said, you have the online, you have the online facilities, the forum. You have them in every village have their forum. Groups have their forum. I can sit in my house, address the whole nation, and distribute it in all the forum, and the Gambians will listen to it.
As a party, what have you done to fight this COVID-19?
Well, we have been advising people to abide by the guidelines of the WHO and the Minister of Health. And I must say that the Minister of Health has done wonderful work. The frontline workers, these are great patriots who have sacrificed their lives, have taken the risk to be in the front line in order to save you and I. And we want to commend them for the very good job that they have been doing. Of course, in every situation, every system, there are imperfections. And we do not have much experience in handling this type of pandemic. And our healthline workers are really doing well with the limited resources. They are really doing well to combat this. And we encourage every Gambian to make sure that you put on your face mask, regularly wash your hands, and observe the social distancing. This, as a party, that is what we've been preaching, and this is what we'll continue to preach. And I want to tell you that when this pandemic was announced, I am the first politician who announced that there will be no political activities by my party. We close all our bureaus because we want to make sure that we can contain this virus. That is, we are the first political party that did this, and we announced it publicly. Yeah. And we are the first political party that also arranged for hand washing materials to be distributed by our youths. And others, and of course when we did, others follow. Yeah.
And we learned that recently you have engaged the president for all the parties to come together and fight this COVID-19, but yet there is no response. If that is right, can you tell us?
Well, I don't like repeating things. I have made efforts to organize my colleagues on the other side, my colleagues in the opposition, to really see the executive. But my efforts was aborted. That's all I want to say.
Do you think we have a serious nation? If you as a political leader, you're coming out to fight something, togetherness, and yet the presidency is not giving you the atmosphere, what do you think?
Well, maybe our views might not be, might not be good,
But don't you think if you sit together and talk, your views will be the same?
Probably. I don't want to speculate.
Yeah, but some say that, you are an interesting leader. Maybe you want to take all the political parties to come under you. That's why you want to do that.
Well, how do you expect me to bring DOI under UDP? That is fully stuck. How do you expect me to bring UDP under DOI under UDP, PVP under UDP, NRP? How do you expect that? I think that is against your stock. That is just fully stuck. Yeah.
Honorable, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
All right. Gambia yéen a ko gis kooku mooy honorable Ousainou Darboe moom leen doon waxtaanal léegi nii balaa ñuy dem loolu am na solo bu baax a baax kon nag dafa mel ni ki nga xam ne moo nekk Banjul gars seen député mayor bi mu ngi nii honorable ñu bàyyi ko rek moom it mu introduce boppam kon nag yéen a ko gis honorable Touré moom mi nga xam ne moo nekk National Assembly gars yi seen naka la BCC gars yi seen député mayor moom moo taxaw nii moom dafa ñëw si place bi di programme bi ñu bàyyi ko rek mu ñëw waaye balaa muy ñëw rek ma wax sama technicien bi mu jëlal ma commercial rek ñu dem ñëwaat aaye su ko defee ñu mën a wax ak honorable Touré ñii dañ nekk si biir dëkk bi tey am nañ njëriñ indil commercial rek and then we are back commercial.
Supersonics Money Transfer is giving you an unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October. Yes! From now till the end of October, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice when you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada and Switzerland with Supersonics Money Transfer. Amazing! So from now till the end of October, every time you receive monies in the Gambia from UK, Europe, USA, Canada and Switzerland, you stand a chance of winning a bag of rice. Only 100 bags available, so hurry now and be part of the 100 lucky winners in this special unbeatable bonanza from now until the end of October with Supersonics Money Transfer. Enjoy our safe, fast, reliable and convenient money transfer service with the largest payout network in the Gambia with charges starting from $0. Yes! Visit the Google
back to another edition of the Gambian Talent TV. Like we always tell you, all the time we will bring you exclusive interviews that you will not hear from any other media house or any other platform. So we are right here with the Deputy Mayor of BCC and I am glad to have you on our platform today. Your name, by the way?
My name is Omar Toure.
So you are the Deputy Mayor?
Of course, yes.
Honorable, how do you see the President speak today?
Yeah, thank God, and I'm saying a good morning to your viewers. And as you said, the speech of Your Excellency, the President of the Gambia, Adama Barrow, it's a good speech, although, but we pick few things there which we want to, share with people, because definitely we jot down some things from it. Yeah. So, yeah.
What do you think? Is his speech very good, or do you think there should have been a better speech than this one?
Yeah, it could be a very a good one, excellent one for don't matter, but it's just very good, not excellent, because we don't see ourselves in it as a local authorities, because we are listening when we come to our department. That's the Ministry of Local Government, and we are part of it. That's the municipality, Banjul City Council as well, but we don't see ourselves, because especially this year on the COVID, we did a lot on this COVID, and even the blind can see. But they don't mention the municipalities, they don't mention any local authorities at their participation, and definitely that's a very disappointing one from the president. Yeah.
If you were to talk to President Adama Barrow, what do you expect from his speech when it comes to the municipalities? What do you think he could have said better?
Yeah, we are stakeholders. We should be part of it. We should put our inputs there, and even not only our inputs, but they should recognize our efforts, because we are part of it. You cannot read the president directly, but you can always read the local authorities. That's the mayor and the councillors and those who are under her. Yeah.
That's quite interesting. And of recent, we have seen people writing on social media that BCC could have made the highway that is going towards the State House. That is the Independence Drive Highway. What is your take on that?
No, maybe people don't know our responsibility. Those responsibilities are not under us. It's under the National Road Authority. That's the Ministry of Works. So that Independence Drive road is not on our control, definitely. So we cannot make that one. And even, that's what I can say now for that. Yeah.
That's quite interesting. A lot of people will obviously say BCC should make that road, and obviously the president is passing through that road every day. Don't you think it could have nicely engaged authorities?
The way this we set up Banjul, Independence Drive and Hagan is not part of BCC's responsibility. People don't know it. It's National Road Authority's responsibility. That's why you even see National Road Authority always maintenance that road. Even yesterday they were maintaining it. It's not in our control. So people should know that, and it's the central government through the National Road Authority who should make those roads. That's the Independence Drive and Hagan.
Why is the mayoress of Banjul? Was she at the parliament today?
No. I'm the one who deputized her because it's not around. So that's why I come and attend for her. So that's why I'm here today. Yeah.
So, Honorable, it is good having you today. And we have seen Gambia is Gambia for all. What is your take on this current draft constitution?
Yeah, definitely. It's a good one because everybody participated on it. All Gambians put their inputs there. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody's a stakeholder. That's why I'm telling you that. Even in government, they are the boss, I can say. But the local authorities are part of it. So that's why we should take everything, and put it in one place and to give it to the Gambians. The draft constitution is a very good one, and we hope so to go to referendum and to adopt it. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm saying the last speech of the president, what he said, we should unite together. We should unite as a nation. That's very important. I really appreciate that one. We should put our differences, because of all our political differences. The Gambia is first. All the political parties, Gambia is the first political party, our nation, after you have another political parties. We should work, as the speaker said, we should work with our conscience, not with sentiments or with tribe or political parties. So that's what Gambia needs now. Gambia, we are less developed. That's the hard fact. When you travel, you see another countries. This country is very small compared to another countries. But we have independence with all these countries, Singapore and all these countries, China, whatever. But we should try our level best to unite as a nation to make sure to take the Gambia to another level. Yeah.
Your final message to our beautiful viewers.
Yeah, thank you. And as I always say, the media, they are here for the people. They are the one who makes the changes, and they are here to enlighten people. Yeah, but what I always want to emphasize, let's localize everything, because the majority of Gambians, they cannot speak English and they cannot understand English. We should localize a lot of things, and I see that Gambia talent are doing that. Let's localize it. Our grandparents who are at home, they should know what we are saying at the National Assembly and everything. Even the president's speech, we should put it on all local languages to let them to know, because we are representing them, but they are not hearing what we are saying. Thank you once again, Gambia talent. Chikaw chakanam.
Si kanam luloy am wax naa ko man tutala damay naaw fu ma neex dak sama jàpput sa affaire sama jàppee sa affaire waaye jàppaleen ma rek ñu dem si kanam Gambia ñàkk am coow kon nag mbokk yi lii leen amal tey si suñ biir programme dinaa leen bàyyi ak Lamine M Cissé mu wax ak gars yi si kàllaama Mandinka waaye suñu indi leen Papa Ndiaye bu PPP waxtaan ak gars yi Gambia suñu Gambia la gis ngeen président Adama Barrow joxe na speech am kontaan nga si speech am na kontaanaloo si speech am make na effort na make effort wax naa leen ko toogaluñ fi kenn Gambia leen fi toogal ndax speech am bi gis nga si sa boppa soo si gisul sa boppa bina ko si commentary box soo si gisee sa boppa mu ngi soo si gisutee sa boppa nag nen wax ak président bi ku mu ñëw Lamine you can come and talk to our beautiful viewers on Mandinka whilst I go and take Papa Ndiaye so that we can talk to him and others. So Gambia lii la bu leen dem fenn Lamine M Cissé rek waxtaan ak yéen si kàllaama Mandinka.
Baraka baga Fadou Samba kuma ka fa nyamen dron ani mola interview sore janne wala ma ni ka cha sore janne president Adam Barrow speech men di janteng ani mola ni speech wala kamala ñing kono jele ya ay tan di ay ani mola ñing ka cha ñi men soro ya ay tan di le ko comme ça president Adam Barrow la ni speech ni ay ko sonol men ñi ka je forme ko sonol de mele alon ko itele ko ñi nyaadile ani ñi men la bonda ka cha te wa fole kadum atam molti mi alon kadum deputy mayor di Banjul City Council wala BCC di barate men fo wala ñi ko president Adam Barrow ñing kacha men ke janteng wala mo am etel dabulande ko ñing kono ako kadum ate president Adam Barrow ñing kacha ñi nyame wala president Adam Barrow ñing amang kuma fo me alon ko woltinta ani tela ila BCC ma fon abru nga fa le president Adam Barrow kacha ñi ngala mo kumol fa je me alon ko idiata funding ko tulo baake kadum ñaji ba fo le je ko kabe CRR wala CRR kara LRR ani NBR wala mudula le dami alan ko pesa adam bora fole ibe dula lola je mi alan ko ka fo le vocational center pour mol bi da dami ibe nying skill ko karana je wala ka nying do ko di mele alan ko ibakale bulol aussi valtem fende mi alan ko mo diata bakale pour mo be amoy manda wala fanam na ko modol fuje fan ka fu ko MDI wala lati mi alan ko mo be alan na bidane gambe jan katabula gambe ko jila ni jidi de ay pesa adam boro ka ta ko fana fu jelo ko nyil be ka dal dami alan ko ay be nyil be mudal ye yiru wandi ise ka dal dami alan ko mo bi stano je pour ise fanna fano je wol be on kulo mi alan ko diata baka pour mo ya moy ala ka ta ko fana fu jelo ko ay prison fana mo dal dami alan ko wala kasoti maltu ni kada dal dami alan ko kabri coronavirus kuma sta banko kam president borona na simfa dul fananta wala mu nyindi ko coronavirus ni sartol mel landi ka ko mol si jam fani wala wala mu fenen mi alan ko president borona na simfa altale wala mente ay presidenta ka mol nyin ta ketalaje ala kacha ko na afaje mol mel alan ko ay be nyin kasola e dol mu dal ye bula ka belo kam dol fana bi je mel alan ko ay yam fo ko wolye o be fenet mi alan ko be gor kam men wala pour coronavirus ni akana janjam banko kan jambake pour men sa pour asabu kam asina banko be torano nyame wol be sim falet mel alan ko wala ay tan leko abe kula kam mi alan ko gambia la na fala mol beti kacha nyim fana ko ja fo jelo ko wala ni security wala na sojarol wol fana fenen mi alon ko ibe kado ko ke kam bakele pour ni na ni coronavirus ka kele ka bondi banko kanjam kada itandi jelo ko itelle moldi mi alon ko wado mena president boro nyim food relief package o dundi banko kam wala mo kaddo ngoro samba ka wala balu ka sodo sonandi mobe o mi alon ko wala gambe banko kanjam nyin kono itandi je ko nyin sojarol itelle moldi mi alon ko itella kan domorol ta ke janjande mole dalto ay ka ini institution do wala stakeholders ni wala ta ka fura nyuma pour kan domorol ta ke janjande gambe bonko kantare awro wol bela wol be ay tan le ko adam mamman ta do ko nyin ke ka faye awra ni mol be ka fura nyuma le pour kan do ko nyin ta ka ke pour gambe bonko astano nyato nyame aburu han ka bi doram okay han ka bi doram ni anyimbe ka cha so dal doram pour kan ka ko son dantal don doram ay to dum
Honorable Ousmane Touré, National Assembly Member Sawa Sanjal.
Sanjal. Ousmane, ye president Borol ni kacha bi ya janya di.
Kacha ni abeda rabake because mansa kondala hamen ko anala alla vitamin doko la anan doko men be ke kan. Menu pareta anan ay men hayma pour kake. Anan ko ya ko men be wo kono. Awo be yitandele. So woni min ko man sekunda ala banko la economy badami anin ko ya ko me yalon ko ñu coronavirus ya ke banko la ani banko ko tangolo ayo boy tandel say no aje mol gambia afana mu banko le me yalon ko corona ye batandi o emergency la kono santeng so ala spiye ñi be yetandi ko ya ko me yatana ko ya project do fongo man fareno anyama so wala na taymo a koleata pour doku dole futa comme ya planu anyama economy fana a jita because growth rate aya fo nyami ako ya kimonun ko abeta la fo 6% wala mu kemo keme abela fala worol bare je corona ko kan abe jila kemo keme abe jila fo nane to ba jelo ko wo mu ko balati anu maso ko na wo be yitandi anung ye senkol fananke ibe parandiro fananke kan pour ko wo nyaato si demarol fanam men kata mol la me yalla ko ibulo me ko bang ayo beytande ko domorol fanan ditam banko mol la andung programme do be je nana la ka tamandi ay sinkri tansele target men yalla ko ibe tati district la kono gambe kono jang wolye castran fa soto andung ibe mur la kote kay yo castran fa soto ni october karola so ayo beytande ala diamo kono so ngamira
model fana bije president Adam Barrow ya tumi bake e ka ko nana national assembly jam aka kumol men fodol wala mo atla nyaato tali ata kol damal la fo melalon ko matala so jabu kol fo so yala nyi donje nyaadi la ni wol
no yala mo ni la hakilole mo ni la miralolem so nite ya je wo nyama isa fono wo nya bari ala diamo men foda jang ay mi yitandi ala diamo fo nimba tala nyama ako man so konda e nyaarata ndin soto bari kolea kuwol fanan abu yitani la anu aya lankane man ay kolea kuwol fo men bu ko ñu corona e kolea ko men sabu fo project dol man keno bari ndela moyro do ndela jerodo amam fem fo mi yalan ko ala fankun kuwolem ala ko men fo jang banko la kuwolem so ne ya jube ala diamu lamo do fang aya mul be sasi pour ngabeng nga ñina politique difference la nga ke kilinti fo Gambia la ñarota ako man sakunda la bulo ci ngobe mente wala mu kolea ko le be kere bari te ngo fembe kala adama dingolo wol ñanto wala mu ila mira folon
okay BCC la deputy mayor anta mira jenne nay kacha soja ay même fo wala mu ñindi ko président Adam Barrow man sakunda imetol je BCC wala mi mande to fasa kan so président Adam Barrow natna foko mol ñanta kala le be ka fu ñoma nga ka kilindi so yo ko ñañaji
ha hani sa be kala wotre opinion individual opinion nam ala diamo kono to nya biring abe contendro kala nga moy Banjul meyo kontong mam BCC moy nak bari ntele jeroto wo ma ñaati na nga foko amam BCC je kar na président la Barrow la man sakunda nte nga je ñame amang dula tudal ay be leta because BCC ba Gambia la kono andu ala diamo be aka fo Gambia so
baraka ba han ka bi to mbadil na ning fadu samba fana be kacha sod la fana min do be kacha sod la jom
jërëjëf Lamin it's interesting Gambia is really interesting parce que ku nekk ak ni mu gisee dëkk bi ku nekk ak lu ko soxal ba nga xam ne ñu nit loolu moo tax tey ñu ñëw fi nar a waxtaan ak askan bi si yëfi draft constitution ñu gis koo xam ne nag dafa xarañ lool wax naa leen ko Gambia dafa bari political party di nga gis parti bu nekk waaye PPP nekk na parti boo xam ne du ma ne moo fi gën a yàgga waaye nekk na parti yi nga xam ne ñoo gën a yàgga si dëkk bi ba pare ba léegi ñu ngi si kawam ñu nuyu la ñu bàyyi la rek nga wax ñu yow yaay kan.
jërëjëf man naay Papa Ndiaye Mahamadou Moussa Ndiaye di leader party leader bu PPP.
tey lan mooy sa taxawaay si National Assembly bi loo fay def.
dama ñëw pour déglu lu président Barrow di wax policies about naka la moo doxalee yóbbu Gambia for the next 1 or 2 years. waaw te ma déglu ko ma jëlee si lu bari njëkkaane rek in general statement bi baax na because laal na secteur si yëpp te lu ma gën a neex si statement bi moo woon rek bu mu doon daaneel mu ngi ñaax na Gambia ci nekk benn na Gambia si ñëw together seet Gambia not suñ own individual interest seet Gambia not suñ own individual party interest loolu it's a sign of a leader bu nga xam ne dafa bëgg nit ñi ñëw together mu wax secteur su bari man secteur bu nga xam ne moom a gën a soxal mooy youth and sports bi ak yëfi agriculture bi lu ma dee wax toujours rek Gambie moom dañ dee mun a bind policy documents yu baax dañ dee mun a wax te su ko déggee rek dañ dee kontaan ne suñ ko implémenté dina baax waa problème bu ñu dee am rek mooy si implementation bi moo defaat mooy naka la ñoo defee am luñ wax te di ko war a am moo boobu mooy problème bi la ba pare naka la ñoo make sure monitoring evaluation am naka lañ ko doon waaye si olof mooy toppa di gestu di seet yow da nga wax ne ni nga bëgg a defaree secteur bi waaye ndax noo ko defaree mu ngi baax ndax baaxut su baaxutee rek nga seet naka nga koy change loolu ma gisuma ko tey waaye nag léegi as opposition leader dina déglu xool ministre su nga xam ne ci different departments yi lañ nekka ma seet ndax ñoom nañoo follow through the promises du nga xam ne président bi dem na ko.
loolu am na solo ñu gis ne président bi speech am lan nga fa ne loolu la waxut te waroon na koo wax.
gis nga speech du mus a mut ak noo ko bina il faut nga am looy fàtte gannaaw soo man lu ma wax rek mooy nekk lu nga xam ne daf ko fàttee wax léegi liggéey bi si ministre si la ñoo war a génnaat banque waat ne lii daf ko waroon a waxu ko o lii mu ngi si document bi amuñ time pour wax ko waaye ñun as political leaders rek ñun direction bi la ñoo seet ndax general direction bu mu wax dina ko jël ñu toppa ko si loolu noonu ba pare ñu ko fàttali ne yow yaa waxoon li te da nga ko war a def parce que ñi ñëpp ñoo bokk Gambie bi te suñu liggéey la pour ñu hold accountable so foog naa loolu laa bëgg a emphasize on rek ne foog naa wax na secteur si yëpp am na secteur ñu xam ne gën na see wax lu bari am na secteur ñu wax ne dafa mention ne ñu ngi def policy documents yi rek waaye ise nguñ ko parliament pour ñu pass ko so xam nga soo ko paasutee nag we cannot comment on it now so we will just wait until those documents are ready and then ñu comment on it wala li ma bëgg a wax rek mooy il faut ñu seet naka la ñooy make sure all sectors su nga xam ne ñu koo wax dañ interrelated so su ñoo assess ñu assess ne dem as a group ñu seet ndax benn secteur soo ko waxee like soo waxee agriculture dafa affect ndaw yi soo waxee fisheries dafa affect jaaykat yi jën yi soo waxee horticulture dafa affect jigéen so naka la ñoo bring all the sectors together ñu gisee bigger picture mooy la mooy vision bi mooy la pour gis Gambie bu nga xam ne développe na gis Gambie bu nga xam ne kenn képp ku nekk am na opportunité pour liggéey daan sa doole.
loolu am na solo jamono ji Papa Ndiaye duñ la bàyyi nga dem te waxoon ci sa parti ñu ngi gis ne PPP fan yi daal dafa mel ni kaanee fa duga ñu gis Touma Ndiaye mi ne moom mi dafa bëgg a nekk ab président loolu yow noo ko gisee are you feeling threatened da nga ragal na ragal
du kaani sare ñun PPP I think we were the only party bi nga xam ne dañ encourage démocratie dañ wax ne anybody soo gisee position bi nga xam ne da nga ko bëgg a contest you have the right pour nga contest ko dafa des si base bi ñoo laay decide ndax yow la ñoo tànn o keneen la ñoo tànn te Touma lu mu def rek dafa exercise democratic right am ne dafa bëgg a taxaw nekk parti leader bi and then su congress jotee nit ñuy ñu decide kan la ñoo votal te loolu la rek soo amul leneen lu su nëbbu loolu la rek ñun démocratie lañ gëm te ñun wi dañ gëm ne ku nekk xeex opportunity pour nga contest for any position within the party.
xanaa Touma daf la teg bët parce que yow bu dee si parti bi nga nekk te yaa ngi liggéey bu baax waroon na laa bàyyi oo mu ñëwoon mi ne la Papa Ndiaye fii de nekkuloo di fi teraayal fii waaye li nga laal mu laal ko loolu teg bët laa.
déedéet démocratie la moom su fogee ne am na lu nga xam ne defuma ko rightly mun na maa approche wax ma ko ou mu dem through the right channels waaye su fogee ne tamit moom na ko gën a mën a def daan man then she has the right to contest at the elections waaye lu may wax rek for the last 2 years ñun PPP dañ nekkoon si xare parce que immediately after congress bi rek nga gis groupe bi daabo bi cëleñ ñu te loolu rek dafa jël daf ñu sonal ñu seen dafa jël a lot of time betan tamit PPP had to go back pour jàngalaat nit ñu nga xam ne for 22 years ñu ngi leen wax ne PPP baaxut soo su ma liggéey la woon pour re-educate ndaw yi pour gars understand ne PPP ndekete parti bu baax la te def naa ko te léegi alhamdulilah rabbil alamin ndaw yaa ngee ñëw ñu am xarañ bi tamit nit ñi di wane ndax Papa Ndiaye mun naa yóbbu parti bi ndax bunu koo yóbbu boobu tam may xeex ko ma xeex tamit ni time boobu noonu suñu waxee ñetti parti o ñeenti parti juróom parti doo dëgg PPP bi waaye su léegi suñu waxee benn ñaar ñetti parti rek PPP bokk na si so loolu yëpp xeex bu nga xam ne ma ngi ko doon xeex léegi ñu ngi float léegi génne ne tumba ñu ngi tumba léegi lu des léegi rek mooy ñu door di waxtaan suñu structure si ñu door di waxtaan suñu agenda bi ñu door di wax ne ñun su lañ joxee dëkk bi nii lañ ko doxalee and te sant naa yàlla bu baax a baax parti bi ñu ngi gën a strong nit ñaa ngee ñëw surtout ndaw yi jigéen ñi ñu ngi ñëw every day waaye nag ñun suñu politique dafa utee tuuti ñun su nit ñëwee ak délégation am duñ génne di ko announce radio télé ne ki cross na carpet ñu gëmuñ loolu noonu dañ gëm ne rek ku nekk am nga sa right pour cross carpet soo cross carpet nag jaru ñu announce ko so waaye nag suñ defee suñ force rally nit ñi nañ gis ne PPP change na incha allah.
Papa Ndiaye jamono ji ragaluloo parce que Touma mu ngi ñëw xam nga Gambia ñu bëri den bëgg a jigéen soo waxee rek ñu ne women empowerment nen dooleel jigéen te nga nekk góor fooguloo ne jigéen ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk si sa boor dinañ daw dem topp ji Touma.
fu mu nekk du ma si mun a wax parce que jotangut waaye dama xam ne rek nit ki sooy liggéey da nga am mandate man si congrès bi dafa am ñaari wax mu waxoon foofu si congrès bu mu jeexee ne man su ma liggéey su ma mandate mooy xoolaa structure PPP defaraat ko ba mu dëgër ñaaral bi waxtaan ak encourage ndaw yi ñëw ci parti bi ok that's very very important jàngal ndaw yi ak nit ñu nga xam ne fàtte nañ PPP jàngal nañ ne PPP bàyyi fu bor bu bon PPP mooy foundation yi Gambia bi so ma jàngalal yooyu yëpp mu ngi fi so I'm happy that def nañ loolu noonu leneen lu si ñëw nag nga xam ne is part of the job so waaye rek ragalu ma nag parce que man xam naa lu ma def te suma membership base bi xam na lu ma def so loolu is not issue Touma is part of the PPP and she will continue to be part of the PPP su ñu demee élection tamit ku mën a gagné rek dañoo continuer supportante waaye dama xam ne nag parti bi we doing well as a team.
wax nañ ko Gambia ku jóg rek keneen dafa ñëw di la fàggatal loolu nag moom ñaaw na Papa Njie how prepared are you for 2021.
lu ma la waxoon rek xaaral ba suñu force rally di nga gis ne PPP is ready to shake the Gambia waaye leena rek no single party is going to win the next elections so we will be forming alliance with different political parties.
so ban party nga fa ne.
teel duma ko mën a wax léegi because foog parti bu ñoo form alliance mu gëm suñu manifesto mu nangu ñaari manifesto suñu def ko together su ko defee ñu dem loolu jaay ko Gambian si based on that guy votal ni
am na solo sa final message to ñi nga xam ne ñooy seetaan Gambian Talents.
di leen rek ma kontaan naa trop si seen liggéey di leen encourage because media is very important dëkk bu amut free media rek dëkk boobu du mun a développe te ñun PPP dañ gëm démocratie dañ gëm rule of law and then we coming back with full force very soon dinañ génn suñ manifesto di wax nit ñi naka la ñoo bëggee doxale government bi suñ ko amee. thank you
loolu am na solo kooku mooy Papa Njie wax naa leen ko Gambia politiciens yi bari neen waaye bokkuñu saay boo ko ooyee rek ne ko dama laa interview du daw dara dafa taw wax ak yéen wax ne ñoo xam ne bu looya Ousseynou Daab wax ne ñoo ñu bari kon nag mbokk yi fii la ñoo em ak yéen ba beneen bés bu aay bye bye seen mbokk seen xarit Fatou Samba la woon ak Lamine MC sa ñoo fi nekk Ami Diba moo nekkoon si caméra bi kon nag mbokk yi toppaleen Gambian Talents TV bu leen daw fenn toppaleen
or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics. The unbeatable bonanza with Super.
ha October gasa eyi itti joni ha October gasa heɗa wawi gagnade saku maro wattu wo heɓɓiɗa kalis he nder Gambia ɗo immoranɗo ma UK Europe USA Canada walla Switzerland he Supersonics Money Transfer no weli awa itti joni ha October gasa wattu wo mo heɓɓiɗa kalis he nder Gambia ɗo immoranɗo ma UK Europe USA Canada walla Switzerland hiɗa wawi gagnade saku maro ko sakuji temedere tunnon heddi awa yawnoɗe wonon he ɓe yimɓe temedere malaɓe fifi gagnagol ndi jenari ɗo he October gasude he Supersonics Money Transfer weltoɗe he nde neldirde kalis ɓurde mawnude he nder Gambia yawude laaɓude kadi he joddi fuɗɗordi haydara yehe ka Google Play Store walla ka Apple Store hande waɗon download Supersonics Money Transfer app on weltoɗon he neldugol walla heɓɓagol kalis ndi ñeenari ko Supersonics tum